and welcome to Scary Town, the Goosebumps and Fear State Review Show. And without further ado, this is The Haunter. It is a Goosebumps Most Wanted and a special edition. And usually with special editions, this one's going to be longer and it's actually split up into different parts. There is a very short prologue which kind of teases the twist of this story, which actually happens about 3/4 into the story, and essentially kind of technically the story is split up into two stories really. So the first story being obviously the kids are going to a haunted house, and basically what happens is on Halloween night they decide to go to this haunted house because during class they're assigned these group projects, and of course you remember those from school where a couple of kids are just randomly assigned to a group, and Sammy's the main character and his best friend Buzzy is in the group. And there's also Sammy's love interest, like this girl he's has a big crush on, but she's like really hot and super popular, and you know, everyone sees Sammy as a coward because he's this scaredy cat, and he's constantly bullied by this kid called Rubio, because there was one time where Rubio was like practicing some skateboard tricks and accidentally Sammy bumps into him and kind of makes him fall, and everyone laughs at him. And so ever since then, Ruben been Sammy's adversary ever since, and they really laid on thick with the whole bully routine from Ruben, and it's like almost every other page, like every other 5 minutes in the story, he's doing like something like awful to Sammy. Even like at one point, like they're having like this group discussion in Ruben's house, and he tells Sammy like, I saved this chair for you, and he sits on it, and it's all wet and gross. It smells gross, and apparently his cat just pissed on the chair. He's like, oh, that's great, awesome. So their group project is to prove that a ghost is haunting a haunted house, and just so happens there's a local haunted house because, you know, every town has a haunted house, right? So this one is the Mulberry House. It's interesting how the story is set up, because they have like this big cast of characters. They're all, you know, they all fit the archetypes. Like, so Sammy's a scary cat, Buzzy's the best friend, and then there's the love interest, Sammy's crush. There's the bully, Ruben, and there's like the shy girl, and then there's this other girl that just kind of like comes in and she's always late to everything, and that's like the running joke. And then there's the class clown, and so it fits everything. The haunted house section of the story is like a big part of the story, but afterwards we're really following Sammy and Buzzy, and mostly just Sammy, what happens to him after the haunted house. And you'll see, because it's called The Haunter, and there actually is someone that haunts somebody in the story. I won't really ruin the twist, because the twist is like, it really kind of cuts into you, because it teases it in the prologue. And the prologue, once you read it, you'll be like, how does this make any sense? Because prologue's basically, this is like, I believe like a couple of days after Halloween, and they were supposed to go on a field trip, but then it's canceled because the mayor is coming to the school to have an assembly so he can say a speech. And then for some reason, because like they're all sitting there listening, and it's boring, and then Sammy hears a voice telling him to go up to the stage and start tap dancing and crowing like a rooster. And it's like, this makes no sense. Like, at the time, this doesn't make any sense in the story. But after the events happen in the haunted house story, it'll make more sense why that's going on and why he's gonna tap dance and crow like a rooster. So it's really hard to review this, kind of like the last review I did. It's really hard to tackle this without spoiling what the twist is, because the twist is integral for the last part of the story, which is the most important part. And it's almost kind of like a bait and switch Stein does sometimes in these books, where you look at the cover, right, and you're like, oh, this is going to be like a spooky, scary story about haunted house. And it kind of is. Like the haunted house section of the story is a majority of the length of the book. But then it's what happens after the haunted house story that's really, really kind of throws you. It's like a curveball. It's really reliant on the twist. If you don't like the twist, then it could really sour your experience for the story, because it really relies on that, because going forward, that's all there is to it. If you don't like what happens after the haunted house section of the story, then you might be in for a bad time. But I thought it was pretty genius. The haunted house section is like, it's generally kind of spooky, and it's a lot of fun. And it's just a haunted house thing with kids going in it. It's pretty typical. But after that, the story moves into more of a comedy kind of Goosebumps book, like silly stuff happening, and it's just really weird. So there's that. And also, I'm going to mention this again because it bears repeating. Ruben bullying Sammy, it becomes really irritating. It essentially takes the place of having an annoying character in the book that's just being annoying and obnoxious and just getting in the way. And that's what Ruben is. And you're really waiting for him to get clobbered by Sammy, and eventually Ruben does get his comeuppance, so it's kind of worth it, but it seems like it takes a really long time to get to that point. And it's just always pretty irritating. So your mileage may vary. It's a really great book. As far as where it ranks, as far as the other Halloween standard Goosebumps books like The Haunted Mask and what I previously reviewed, Weirdo Halloween, I don't think it really deserves a place up there. It's a pretty solid Goosebumps story. It's just like the reliance on the twist and how annoying Ruben is kind of sets it back from being like truly great. So there's that, and it's fun, and the ending is kind of, I wouldn't say mean-spirited, but it could have been better. It had a chance to have like a genuinely happy ending, but it's kind of not. So anyways, that is The Haunter. Definitely check it out. I mean, it's a pretty solid book. It's not the best Goosebumps Halloween story, but if you've already read the other Goosebumps Halloween stories like The Haunted Mask and Weirdo Halloween, and if you're looking for something new to read for Halloween, then this will fit the bill. It's definitely going to hit you with a curveball with a twist, so be ready for that. So anyways, that's all I have for you guys this time. I hope you guys have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you guys next time for another review.